a look.
Oh, it must
By
be
the way, these are just two
Thesaurus
flat
talking.
pieces
He's
of glass,
brilliant.
and this is just some hardware LED that you can get at like Lowe's or Home Depot. The reason why I actually have three pieces of transparent tape holding it together is because when the supercells are really, really sensitive like this, the problem is that they're easy to destroy. It's kind of like you can create something that's a lot more sensitive, but usually more
He
sensitive
talks too much,
instruments
though.
are more easy to destroy. So this lets me actually take it apart. A supercell, and of course this is a toroidal, so the actual magnet itself is shaped basically like the toroidal field of a magnet. You'll see something interesting, and then I'll zoom in. There we go. Let's actually see
Oh,
it.
dear.
Now, the interesting thing, you can actually see the donut shape. Isn't this fascinating? The holography. Now, you know the hologram on your credit card, right? Well, a true art hologram, which most people have never seen, is about 100 times better than that, if not more, depending on how good the true art hologram is. Now, what we actually have here is less than a few microns thin. In other words, the liquid, there's just a few drops of liquid between these two pieces of ultra flat glass. Um, Once you actually press the glass together, most of the liquid squishes out the side. You wipe it off, and it leaves stains on your fingerprints. So what we actually have here is across this well, this is about roughly about 10 square inches of glass in total. We have less than about maybe like 1/50th of a drop of liquid, maybe 1/50th, and yet we have incredible holographic. Specifically, this is
Fucking
magnetoholography.
ferrocells are
Now, of course,
amazing.
you can see the donut shape. There's nothing here, by the way. This is not a
That's all you
projection
need to
device.
say,
This is
Ken.
literally just LEDs, like for the edge lighting of your cabinet. So there's just light shining inwards. By the way, about 2 years ago, people said, well, you're just looking at the number of lights here. It's like, that's not true. I created one of these devices where the light pours in from the sun, so only one light source. So the sun was able to wrap around in a tent-like structure and shoot inwards into the cell, and you get the exact same thing from a single light source, which is the sun. No batteries, no LEDs, nothing, just the sun powering it. Now, the ceramic or the speaker magnet, of course, is squared off, so it's obviously not rounded. But it doesn't matter what shape the
Coffee.
magnet is. The actual
Shit.
centrifugal
Hey,
divergent force and
Hi,
motion
Judith. How
vectors
you
that
doing?
actually show
Cosmic.
the magnetic and dielectric
What's
field. This is the reason why
happening?
we see
How
lines, where
you
you see
doing, huh?
constructive and destructive interference is perfectly toroidal or donut shaped. And of course, the negative image of a donut shape is, of course, hyperboloid or an hourglass shape. So if you actually take the negative
Okay.
image of this, you will see the
Watching a
dielectric. Now, this is a really weak
ferrocell.
magnet.
If
I'll
y'all
show you a
never
really
looked at it.
powerful magnet here in a second. I'll show you how much more sensitive this structure, this new super sensitive supercell is. But look, as I actually skim along the edge. Now realize that the liquid
I am
showing the
doing
constructive
awesome.
and destructive interference
Thank you.
is infinitely thinner than a human hair. And what we're doing is we're using the light in the dispersed ferrofluid. The ferrofluid is not clumping, by the way. The dispersed ferrofluid is
Well,
all
Sharm,
through
there's
this. The only
reasons
reason why
for
you're
that.
seeing light stripes in certain areas and dark stripes in others is constructive and destructive interference.
This guy, a couple years ago, put out some videos about himself, talking about how the alphabet agencies had compromised him, and then he took down a little bit of his shit. But if you listen to him, he purposely talks too much, I think. I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't have anybody to talk to. And he uses big words just so you know he's smart. So that those things bother me about him, but he does have awesome fucking ferrocells, and he's not quite the pig fucker that Lee is. So, and he's a hell of a lot smarter than Lee. So this is where I've been studying my magnet for years, and you can ask John and Kendra and that the whole fucking Jesus on toast thing came from this. I was talking up Thesaurus. I said, but John figured out how to read that B plane from watching Lee. So I want you to go over there and watch Lee. He's got his shit, everything I talk about. It's on his fucking page. And fucking, he turned it into Jesus on toast. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Fuck this guy. I'm going to change my name. I swear to God.
Between the magnetic and dielectric. Now, I'll explain this in other
I'm going to be
videos than I
Jeebus
have in
on
the past,
toast.
but also in my book. You see these little bright spots right here? There's little tiny bright spots along the lines of intersection. You see those here? Let me actually zoom in a little
Yeah,
better.
that's
See
what I
these little
said.
bright spots right here?
I didn't stutter. Hey, Daniel. How you doing?
Right? Now this supercell is so sensitive.
How you doing,
that I
Dad?
actually
Ooh,
keep
Lee?
moving the magnet.
Lee calling you stupid, or is the Sauropophis calling you stupid? Because I wouldn't doubt it on either one of them. Catfish Jeebus. Well, when I talk about pig fucker, I mean, like, he's very anti-woman, and Lee. Anyways, he's just in general a nasty person. that's that's what I mean. But yeah, I would. You having fun? I'm having fun. You gotta have fun. Fuck's sake, man. If you ain't having fun, you crying a lot.
And otherwise, it will burn in. You can see like a light burn in mark. It's not literally burn. I just call it burn because it's so sensitive to the powerful magnetic field. Even though it's a
yes, I agree. I totally agree. The Sauropophis, I think he's a little closer to human than Lee, though. I keep working on him. And he doesn't make videos about how fucking the moon isn't doing cartwheels, so I've never really mentioned him too much. But he did do a video on the soul today, and he exposed exactly what he is. He's very based in fucking he doesn't know where to turn. He's looking at theology. He realizes theology is fucking wrong. And then he's looking at the ancient shit, and he's going on with the you can watch his shit anyway. He explains it pretty good. I wonder, I've never watched this guy. We'll have to watch him next.
Weak. Ferrite magnet is so powerful that it's destroying the supercell. Like I said, that's why I've got it taped.
This guy here, though, he's the one. If you've seen the video I did with the, he's the one that has that Hallback array over the neodymium that makes the light generate all itself. This is the guy that did that. It wasn't anybody but this guy. He might have lost bits.
Let's go top down.
So I got hopes for this guy. Huh? You saw that? Yeah, that's amazing. This is the same guy right here that did that.
Kind of like you see in a dream catcher. That pattern you see in the center of a dream catcher is a hypertrochoidal pattern. Yeah. Let's actually take the speaker magnet out, and let's do a ring magnets. Really powerful ring magnets like this destroy it rather easy. Let's take this little square cube neodymium iron boron. Okay, let's place it there. And also, too, I could place it on top. Let's place it on top for a second. Okay. There we go. Let's zoom in and do that, huh? Doesn't matter whether I place it
fucking
on the top
amazing.
Or the bottom.
I love the ferrocell.
Penetrates through absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. But let's place it underneath the supercell here.
Do you love getting high, but smoking hurts your lungs? I've got you covered. You need to try these Delta 9 gummies from Mood.
Hell yeah!
I always get my products.
Focus. There we go. Now let's zoom in a little bit. Here, of course, the way the contrast. You can actually see rings along the. Looks like an owl's face, doesn't it? This is the secret of Mother Nature here. This is the actual constructive and destructive interference. Here's one pole, here's another pole. But a magnet doesn't actually have poles. What it has is the inverse of counter space, which is specifically force and motion. Centrifugal divergent magnetic field, which of course is not literally being emitted from the magnet. It's literally the ether itself under polarized deformation
He's hard sometimes.
From the field of the point source singularity that is what defines the magnet. Because a magnet is not defined by what is quantitative, rather by what is qualitative. And I've explained this 1,000 times, and also including my book.
Quality instead of quantity is what he's trying to say there. And he says it so fucked up. It's not even funny. You don't even understand what he's saying. You know what I mean? It's like, what? What? Quantitative is over qualitative. And it's like, you fucking jackass, dude. Why do you have to go to that extent to speak to people that you're trying to explain something to? If you can't explain it to a kindergartner, shh.
Show you one poll.
He isn't for everybody.
Zoom in. Sorry about that shaky video, but if I zoom in here, you can actually see little concentric circles in the middle. Now you notice how small the black spot is. Of course, where it's black is a dielectric. This is constructed
Common English, yeah.
interference between the magnetic and the
Exactly.
dielectric. This is literally the
Yeah, he totally makes everything too difficult to understand. If you don't have if you're not like a walking thesaurus, you'll be finding yourself in this bar a lot looking for the words he's saying for a simple description of what the hell he's trying to tell you. And it's it doesn't have to be that complicated, Ken. I keep telling them.
lotus blossom. It kind of looks like a lotus blossom, doesn't it? But specifically from up above, it looks like a dream. It's a hypertrochoidal.
No, but you don't want to be spoken to by somebody that in a manner that it's just gibberish to your ears because he's using the most obscure word he possibly can. You know, that's just ridiculous. Okay, Ken, we get it. You're smart. You don't have to go out of your way to find a fucking not used fucking word to fucking describe something simple. And that is one of the quantitative things I don't like about his ass. It's ridiculous the way he speaks. I agree, and that gets me upset with him too. I like I said, he ain't for everybody. It just I like his tools.
Destructive interference. So the interplay.
I love his mind.
Electric, because magnetism is
in ways
the dielectric field.
Yeah, talking down
to
to
perfect
us.
Analogy.
Exactly. Exactly. He's very that way, and yeah, that's why I don't use him in my videos either. That's why I don't use him in my videos either, unless it's something really important.
It's destructive to the supercell. Uses really powerful N60 Gauss magnet.
Very patronizing.
People don't understand that actually a more powerful magnet actually has a smaller spatial magnetic field. The reason being...
Now listen to this. Listen to this. This is also some really good information.
This is literally the lotus blossom.
This is something I repeat all the time that nobody understands about physics of magnets.
It's a hypertrochoidal pattern of constructive and destructive interference. So the interplay between magnetic and dielectric, because magnetism is the dielectric field. Let me give you the perfect analogy.
It is the dielectric field.
And this is destructive.
The EM field, the same thing we talk about. He's just using big words for it.
People don't understand that actually a more powerful magnet actually has a smaller spatial magnetic field. The reason being, and the only kind of good analogy I can come up with for people being, and the only kind of good supercell uses really powerful N60 Gauss magnet. People don't understand that actually a more powerful magnet actually has a smaller spatial magnetic field. The reason being, and the only kind of good analogy I could come up with for people would understand it in their brains is that when you amp up one thing, you also amp up another. So you can't actually make a more powerful magnet without creating more powerful dielectric field. And by creating a more powerful dielectric field, and this is kind of like the cheap man's version of a black hole, is literally the center black portion will be huge on this really, really powerful N60 Gauss neodymium iron boron. Also, too, the spatial field is smaller. This is why people buy really powerful magnets. They say, I don't understand. I bought a really powerful magnet, and I think I got screwed because the spatial field around it. In other words, you have to get a lot closer to a piece of metal to feel the quote-unquote attraction. And by the way, there's no such thing as magnetic attraction. It's dielectric acceleration. Magnetism is by definition and denotation force and motion.
Let
me actually, there you go, move it over here, and I'll show you how big
that centerpiece is.
See how huge the black hole is, or the black section of the dielectric portal is on this powerful magnet. And also, too, you can see, if I can get a little bit better focus, the concentric circles. You actually see shades. It goes from black to dark red to orange to lighter orange to almost yellow. This is the magnet that will very quickly. Also, too, you can see these bright points right here. You see that? You see how quickly it's destroying the cell? This is what I mean by burn-in. It's not literally burnt. It's just literally causing. This is why I have to take the supercell apart when you use really powerful magnets.
Little Willie,
Yeah.
I think
Let me move
you
this
might be
forward
onto
a
something.
little bit. Sorry about that. Here we go. This is all in real time. Like I said, this is not a projection device. There's nothing being fed into this. There's nothing inside this black casing other than 2 pieces of glass, a
It's a
50th of a
liquid.
drop of liquid, and
Yeah.
these Lowe's Home Depot
LED
LEDs,
lights.
which are shooting light into the
Fucking
cell.
amazing.
And if I get really steep on it, see, there's nothing in the.
Scientists are shocked.
Commercial time.
They have found that ear ringing is shrinking your brain cells. Tinnitus is literally
Fucking
middle of this magnet,
tinnitus.
but you still see the
You don't have
this
tinnitus.
little black spot right in the middle, hovering where nothing is. Magnets, by the way, do not accelerate towards one another. What they do is they accelerate towards the lowest pressure mediation of the dielectric acceleration. Let's actually place the ring magnet underneath the supercell and show you what is. Let you take a look. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit. Yeah, this ring magnet will quickly fry this supercell. It's already frying it, actually. If I lift off of it, you can actually see the burn marks. It's only about 5 minutes to rebuild it. And the liquid doesn't cost anything, not really. Since it only takes a few drops to build one, big deal. It's like rebuild it. But look at the magnetovolography. If you actually had this in your hand, you'd be surprised.
Magnetovolography. Go look that up. It's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Where did you pull that out of your ass?
Look at this. If I get it on a steep angle, even though you don't have.
I've looked it up before. I'm like, you're fucking dick.
Holographic depth. You actually have this trough, sloping towards this null point, where the entire, and of course, the magnetic field of the ring magnet is the exact same geometry, even though larger and more perfect. They're both toroidal. The ring magnet, of course, is a toroid, but the magnetic field is also a toroid, and that's actually one of the reasons why ring magnets destroy the supercells so quickly.
Look at the detail in that magnet field, though.
See the burn marks.
It's fucking amazing. In real time.
What you're looking
shows
at
you
is
what's
the
going
face of
on.
Mother Nature here. Magnetism is everything, the volume
Everything.
inside the balloon, the air inside the balloon of everything in the universe.
In the
has
universe.
Magnitude.
He's not wrong.
And mass. Things only have magnitude due to magnetism. And what the hell defines a black hole is where dielectricity, just like the super powerful magnet, except a really poor analogy, is where dielectricity overthrows magnetism's ability to keep something within the visible universe. If I were to, which I can't, pump up the dielectric power of this little tiny magnet like a billionfold, it would literally vanish from the universe. It would not be there anymore. I would actually still have the same field. Well, it'd be a lot different than this. It'd actually all look black with maybe some light fringes around the edge. But when I lifted the supercell off, of course, the supercell would get sucked into it, right? Because it would be a black hole. It would not be there. Because the only thing that actually keeps this physical magnet in the visible universe is magnetism only. That's the only thing that keeps it in the universe. Things only have magnitude due to magnetism. And everything is a fight between the conjugate geometries of force and motion, inertia and acceleration. Everything is centrifugal divergence and centripetal convergence, respectively. The inverse geometries of the torus, i.e., the geometry.
That's all. That's all your Fibonacci circle and everything right there.
Which is the hyperboloid or the hourglass shape. The negative image of an hourglass is a torus.
Everything in creation
the
is governed by that
is
image.
An hourglass.
Yes.
So these are the geometries of. Oh, look at that. Isn't that fascinating when you look at it deep
Again,
on?
you're not wrong.
I wish you could hold it in your hands because the video does it some justice. But when you hold it in your hands, oh baby, that's when it really gets fascinating. Let me put it on its edge here. That's the last thing. Close out this video. And I know which side. By the way, there's a phase shift on each and every magnet between North Pole and South Pole. You notice that this side looks reddish and this side looks bluish. You see how the blue fringe over here and the red tinted? This is the geomagnetic precession, or the Lamore frequency, that actually defines the phase rate of phi to 1. That's why I know this side over here is the North Pole and this side over here is the south pole, because this one actually has the phase disparity towards the blue shift of 5 or 1.618, and this one has the phase shift of 1. That
To the
way,
red,
just looking
yes.
underneath the ferrocell, I know this side of the magnet's the north pole and this side of the magnet's the south pole. I know that's the case, girlfriend. And you see these burn marks in here? That's the reason why I'll have to rebuild the cell. It's already been burned in by this really powerful sucker. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video and I could explain one of the secrets of the universe. In simplex, it's hard to do that, right?
In simplex. Look that one up. You don't even have to,
Ferrocells
really.
are interesting devices.
It's like, why
that
would
show
you
the
use
effects
that
of magnetic
word
fields
to
Unlike
describe
the classic
simple?
demonstration of iron filings on
Simple,
paper.
simplex? Who uses simplex? What the fuck? See, I understand where you get geezy about that motherfucker. That's like, what?
The magnet underneath.
Who
Ferrocells
raised
show how
that
the
fucking
fields
asshole?
change as the magnets move without the filings clumping up. Because they're so easy to build, they make perfect school science projects for any child old enough to use an X-Acto knife safely.
Oh, God.
Here's how to make
There's
one
something wrong
in just
with that
1
guy.
hour.
I
Start
agree.
by cutting a
Yeah.
20 by 22-inch rectangle out of a sheet of black foam board.
I'll
Cut
show you how to
5
make one.
by 5-inch squares out of each corner, and then an 8-inch diameter circle out of the center of the central 10 by 12-inch rectangle. Crease the dotted lines there so it can be battery powered. This avoids talking a maintenance worker into running an extension cord to your display. Poke a hole in the side closest to the wires and feed them through it.
Okay.
Fluid is needed, so buy the smallest amount possible. If this is for very little ferrofluid is needed, so buy the smallest amount possible. If this is for a school science project, the science department may stock some that you can have for free. Place a clean 10 by 12-inch sheet of glass on a wood base thick enough to get your fingers under the glass. This will help control the lowering of the upper sheet of glass, so we'll do in just a minute.
Yeah.
Holding an eyedropper close to the glass, carefully squeeze out 20 drops in the center.
20? God, that's an awful lot.
That will make it hard to...
You go squish it. Look, you go squish it.
Once it does, slow down moving, because if you drop it too quickly, you can create voids that will make it hard to use. Now just walk away and let it sit for about 10 minutes. What will happen is over time, the ferrofluid will slowly spread all by itself. If you try to press down in the center to speed things up, you can get more unevenness and make things even worse. Actually, you could do this step first, and while the ferrofluid is spreading, work on the rest of the body. And that's it. You're done. Well, almost. If the ferrocell is going to be used in a bright room, you need something to prevent glare from washing out the image. To do so, take a third sheet of the glare protector like that and look down through the hole, and I'd be able to see just fine. And here's what we get. Looking pretty good.
There's your
The
blue and
stronger
your
the
red.
magnet, the better the
North
image
Pole.
will appear. I recommend N52 rare earth magnets, which have the highest rating. Different magnets or combination of magnets produce a wide variety of patterns.
Ooh.
So by all means,
Because you
experiment.
got 4 poles on every magnet. Look at it.
And that's it.
Look
A
at
working ferrocell in under an hour. The only thing left to do is figure out how ferrocells work.
1, 2,
which is
3,
what
4
follows.
poles. You can
It
count
isn't
them. 1,
really
2, 3, 4.
necessary
1,
if
2,
all
3,
that's
4.
needed
1, 2,
is a
3,
visual
4. There's 4 poles on
representation
every
of
magnet.
magnetic fields in
There's
action.
not 2, there's 4. Yes. There's 4 poles on every magnet.
It's tempting to assume that the lines we see are following the magnetic lines of force. But if we overlay the ferrocell with the actual magnetic field lines, we can see that while the poles are close, as we move around to the side,
Hi, have you ever wondered about the direction of the Earth's magnetic field? Holding a compass, it only seems logical that the magnetic field is going that way. But
You said to my face that you never turn into the abomination anymore.
No, I said I choose not to.
it's a little difficult to tell, maybe somewhere around 70 degrees.
No
The
Ferrocell?
horizontal Z-axis.
No
A clear sign
Ferrocell?
of the magnetic field being mostly
My bad.
vertical at my place. The Z.
See, he's been doing nothing but talking, and I haven't been watching too much of it. He talks too much. He does. He just talks too much. He uses too many fucking words to explain shit. Simple. But I do love his fucking Ferrocells. Anyway, he's fun sometimes. I was gonna Rumble. I can't Pandora. But we can Iswa. That's been going off all day. Again, as usual. Nothing new. Just a little more than yesterday. Entanglement continues. Complete fucking pressure in the back. Double induction. And lots of fucking quakes. To 12 now. We were at 10. Now we're at 12. So 1-6. A bunch of shaking everywhere else. Really diversely spread. Now, that in mind, I want to reiterate for just in case there's some new people on here. Let's see here. This was made by a real good citizen 2 years ago.
Hello, everyone.
He captured raw.
These are pictures I took yesterday. Our sun's red and orange. This is not red, orange, yellow, and pink. We've got ultraviolet light. This is not the same colors as the sun. We got another planet here,
and
it's right outside of our planet.
Now
it's already
listen
here.
to these
We're
words.
Earthquakes every day.
Earthquakes.
What I heard, we had 5.0 today alone.
5.0 today alone. That almost sounded like a surprise, didn't it? Well, what are you looking at today? You're looking at 1.6, same as all week long, and fucking last week too, and 12 fucking fives today. You see, now my question to you is, this 2 years ago, surprising we had 5.0s just today.
No, today alone?
Today alone. Okay. How about today? When is the new normal gonna stop being so fucking normal? It's just not normal. Period. 5 of them just today.
We had 5.0 today alone.
Alone? I'm like, geez, that's what I gleaned off of this whole thing. I was like, look at that shit. That was 2 years ago, just 2 years ago. And when it was a couple years ago during Christmas, I was on Shepherd and Bellis. What's up, Steve? How you doing? Alone, I know. Just today, we only had 5. Well, today we've only had 12 and 1.6. It's like, fuck, man. Guess what? It's gotten a little bit more than yesterday, from 5.0s in one day to 12 and one quake in 2 years. Or 1.6 in 2 years as the new normal. So, yeah. Happy St. Patty's. I'm not even sure I'm wearing green. But yeah, it's like, what is normal over here? What are we talking about? Well, more than yesterday for 2 years. That's the difference that we're looking at. It takes 2 years to go from 5 quakes a day to 12 quakes and a 6-pointer, or 12 fives, 6-pointer. That's the time it takes, about 2 years to get up to this point from that point. And it's a slow boil. It's a slow boil. Who was that I was looking at? What, the other magnet person? Is that what you're talking about? Well, that was a real good citizen. He's one of, he's one of our viewers over here. He's one of us.
It's really happening right before our eyes every day. Get out.
This is a real good citizen. I sub his channel
on the news. They're not going to tell.
The other one was Wayne Schmidt. I don't know. I've never heard of that guy.
Not only don't the Ferrocell lines line up.
Let's see what he's got over here. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. I like that.
This is a 1915 model VF Davis vertical feed sewing machine, perhaps more properly called a needle feed, because the needle remains in the fabric as the feed mechanism moves the material. While this updated version of earlier Davis sewing machine features many improvements, the most important was the addition of a reverse stitch that could be activated simply by pressing a button to lock off the seam. If the style of the artwork is a little hard to define, it's because the beginning of the 20th century was a period of great change. The elegant, flowing style of the Victorian era was giving way to modern, more geometric looks of the upcoming Art Nouveau period. What this machine has is a blending of the two styles.
I don't want to turn it off. It's a beautiful machine.
To thread,
I want to watch
bring the thread over and around the pre-tensioner, down and around the main tensioner, and then up to the take-up arm. Now, the manual says to just bring it straight from the lower tensioner to the take-up arm. But I found when lifted, lifts up the presser foot by in the bullet shuttle.
Oh, shit.
And it doesn't seem to matter for materials.
We're doing
place the bobbin
wild, crazy
in
bobbin.
The bullet
Look
shuttle,
at this.
and it doesn't seem to matter whether the thread comes off like this or like this. I've had it work both ways. Slide the thread down through the slot.
Have 4 poles.
Pull it straight down.
2 on each side.
And then pull it out to the side so that it pops over and is on top of the little finger here.
We'll go back over there in a minute.
Install the shuttle, bring the thread up, and the machine is ready to go. The needle feed ensures that there's no fabric creep. Single 24 by 51.
He doesn't show it, does he?
Chain stitch machine.
What the hell's this guy got? He got fucking all kinds of shit. Oh, he's just a sewing machine motherfucker. Look at him. I like this guy. Oh, shit. I'm going to have to just fucking subscribe. I'm sorry. Okay, anyways.
Not only don't the Ferrocell
right there. Oh.
Not only don't the Ferrocell lines line up with the field lines, they're actually rare earth magnets, which have the highest
1, 2, 3, 4.
engineering and plasma physics. So while I may not be the sharpest stick in the bundle, I can usually stumble my way into a qualitative understanding for most complicated.
Oh, he's going qualitative.
But these ended up reading more like technical jargon designed to sound impressive more than actually explain something. So I came up with
the
my
Christian
own theory.
disc. Yes.
I offer it without any proof other
that
than
is the central part of your
But
magnet.
before beginning,
where
the
all
large
all
number
of them
of
converge.
intersecting lines created by the 39
Hey,
lights
Daniel.
that power the Ferrocell make it difficult to see what's happening. So let's switch to a unit with only one light. Just for fun, I used a blue LED. We can now see that each light in the Ferrocell produces 3 lights, 1 out of the pole and 2 more projecting perpendicular to the sides of the magnet. As we move to the left, the pole ray bends to the left. The left perpendicular ray bulges up, and the right one moves down.
He's showing you all 4
Opposite
poles,
happens
but he's
when we
just
move
calling
to
it.
the right. Any theory that claims to explain how a Ferrocell works has to be able to account for both the 3 rays and how they move. This image shows 3 rays and how they relate to the magnet's field.
And the fourth.
Unfortunately, what I believe is
2
going on is
poles
too
and the 2
complicated
rays.
for this 2-dimensional representation. So, get ready to go 3D.
Oh, shit.
And here we are. What this image tries to show is that magnetic fields don't surround magnets in lines, but in a continuous field, depicted here as a series of cones that emanate from the North Pole, expand like the bell of a trumpet, and then fold backward as they converge towards the South Pole. The field surrounds the magnet in 3-dimensional curved surfaces.
They don't go from
shaped
pole
a
to
little
pole.
like an egg. The next piece
2
of
of them
the puzzle
emanate out of one pole, 2 of them emanate out of the other pole, and they meet at the accretion
of the
disk.
particles in the ferrofluid to how thick the layer of ferrofluid is between the 2 sheets of glass. This layer averages 15 micrometers.
You can see that
which sounds
yourself.
pretty thin, but looking pretty good. The stronger the magnet, the better the image will appear. I recommend N52 rare earth magnets, which have the highest rating. Different magnets or combination of magnets produce a wide variety of patterns.
Don't sew your fingers to nothing. That sucks, Sean. Hey, Lauren. Yes, Sukit. How you doing, hon? Here we go.
Okay, just remade this supercell unit. Sorry about that. Ironically, since it's so sensitive, I'm actually going to have to use a really weak magnet to demonstrate this. Very weak magnet. Here you can actually see one quote-unquote pole of the magnet. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rotate and tilt. I'll hold it in one spot, even though it's a weak magnet. Rotate and tilt the supercell, and keeping the magnet in place. Here you can see the toroidal or donut-shaped formation of the constructive and destructive interference. This actually, what you're actually seeing is no different than the results of the so-called dual slit experiment. Here's the fact that nobody seems to be able to get through their heads unless they actually think about it deeply and they need to move this magnet around, is that light does not move at all. It is a field perturbation, and there's no such thing as a wave-particle duality.
Oh, shit.
A
He's
wave
talking
is not a
again.
thing, rather what a thing does. You'll actually notice, and I want to save this for the explanation. I'll show you, and you've never seen this in a video before. This one's really sensitive. It's a new formulation. Here, let me actually show you here. I'm able to point it out. You'll actually see bright little spots at the intersection points, like little stars or little gems on a necklace. I move this around. You see, I've already got a burn mark here, and this is a really weak magnet, a really weak one. And I'm still able to get the effect. Let me actually do some focusing here. Focusing. You see these little bright spots right over here, like diamonds on a necklace. I'll actually explain that later. But what you're seeing is constructive and destructive interference from the reciprocating precessional hyperboloid. The only reason I say reciprocating, and of course most people of course know the definition of reciprocating, you look it up if you don't know, kind of like pistons reciprocate in an engine, is that we actually have something called Lamore frequency or geomagnetic precession. We actually have expanding and contracting loops that define magnetism. Magnetism, of course, is centrifugal. It is divergent. It is denotatively and connotatively force and motion. As you were taught in school accurately, at least one of the few things that you were accurately taught is that atoms are 99.9999999% empty space. There's nothing there. There's little tiny billiard balls at the very center. And there's
It was making me hungry.
Nothing in picometers. Nothing in between the periphery or the valence shells of the atom. And that's absolutely not true. The air inside the balloon, to use a perfect analogy when we talk about air, as far as the volume of an atom, or the volume of the entire universe, is solely due to magnetism. We actually have, this is the conjugate reality of the universe. It's irreducible in our galaxy, every galaxy, the entire universe, both seen and unseen. We have force and motion, inertia, and acceleration. Everything's capacitance, resistance, permeability, and permittivity, magnetic permeability and dielectric permittivity. Can you actually see, as I rotate around, I would actually get near instantaneous burn if I were to use a halfway decent non-weak magnet. The only reason I'm rotating around. Also I can tell you, even here, and of course we have the ultimate of destructive, or actually accumulative counter space right here is the dielectric portal to the plane of inertia, which this magnet is so weak I'd have to place it on its edge there for a few seconds. Let me get a more powerful magnet, but I don't want to get the more powerful magnet too close. I'll actually get it.
Mm-hmm. Tone and drone. And
close.
Yeah,
it's really powerful. And
his vocals drive me nuts too.
I don't want to burn this one in. You can also tell, I can tell, you notice how this side is more reddish looking and this side is more bluish cast. I can also tell which pole was which on this magnet. This, of course, is the plane of inertia. The inverse of force and motion. This looks like an owl's face, doesn't it? This is also the cross diagram of AC power lines going outside of your house. Actually, I'm going to place this underneath the table. By putting it underneath the wood of the table, if I give it a few seconds to develop the image.
Okay, I can't help it. It's killing me.
Are you a low-income American on food stamps or Medicaid? If so, you are now eligible to receive a free brand new
What's that? Up in the sky? Is it a balloon? Is it a drone? Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it an excuse to increase military spending and keep us all terrified? It's the last one, isn't it?
Hi, Lily. Wait a minute. What did he say? God damn it.
Excuse to increase military spending and keep us all terrified? It's the last one, isn't it? Hello there, you 6.3.
I'm sorry. I find him funny.
3 million awakened wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage towards truth and freedom, where we come together and analyze mainstream narratives, where we look for new unity.
Yeah, he's funny. You got to take it with a grain of salt. Love you too, Sharp. Be safe out there with your doggies.
New alliances so that we can't be cowed, guided, shepherded towards convenient truths for them, more tyranny for us. If you don't subscribe already, subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell so you're always informed when we make content. We make new videos every single day, especially
I think he's fixing to show us some really good footage, though.
Like today.
I really like it.
Being brought down, being used to escalate tensions, increase fear, and justify more expenditure on weapons. Now let's get into this story.
We begin tonight with the breaking news.
Firstly, why is the news being presented by Ross from Friends, looking all sideways and taut and fraught?
We begin tonight with the breaking news.
Let's notice how they convey this story. Look out in particular for the adjectives that they use, because adjectives is editorialization. If something is described as rapidly or egregiously or terrifyingly, that is editorialization. Look out for personification. See if they make a drone, which is an autonomous remote-controlled object, sound like it's some sort of lovable steam engine from Victorian Britain chugging its way through the sky like Thomas the Tank Engine, just trying to complete a task. Look out for the ways that information is presented to you, so that together we can maintain some objectivity and potentially
the footage is awesome.
Freedom.
The U.S. says a Russian fighter jet collided with an unmanned American drone over the Black Sea. That drone worth up to $32 million and crashing into the sea.
That's $32 million of some of the best drone I've ever seen.
Of course, it comes amid significant tensions already between the U.S. and Russia.
Significant tensions or proxy war?
The U.S. says 2 Russian fighter planes intercepted the Reaper surveillance drone as it was flying international airspace southwest of Crimea.
It was fucking awesome footage. Did you see what happened? The fucking jet dumped and fucking tagged it.
After the Grim Reaper, the symbol of death. Do you know how many innocent people have been killed by drones? It's not none.
I thought it was awesome. I thought it was fucking awesome. I was like, oh God, that guy was fucking great.
Russian pilots harassing the drone for 30 minutes.
Listen to the language that's used to describe what
harassing the drone.
Harassment. They're personifying that drone and making it look like it's some sort of interpersonal skirmish, rather than a drone is doing routine flying very near to Russian airspace and a fighter jet brought it down. That's the information.
The White House calling calling the pilots reckless.
You recklessly harassed me. I was just trying to reap and surveil up in the sky. You harassed me.
Dumping fuel on the drone.
Why don't you take this, you little drone? I shit all over your back.
Making 19 close passes.
Close passes? This isn't happening at a corridor at Miramax, Harvey Weinstein. Oh, excuse me, honey. This is above the Black Sea that's next to Russia. Stop using words like harassment. One of the ways you know there's centralized mass media manipulation is when unusual words start cropping up all across mainstream media outlets. I never heard harassment applied to a jet before. Look at that thing. You can't feel sorry for it, can you? Look at his stupid dolphin head.
One of the jets hitting the drone's propeller, forcing it down.
Look how much attention's being given to the downing of a drone. Children have died in this conflict. Probably thousands of Ukrainian children have been killed, and I would contest unnecessarily because a peaceful solution could probably be reached. Certainly the Israeli Prime Minister said that a deal was on the table. Certainly it's been reported that Boris Johnson slowed down the peace process. Certainly Donald Trump said that he could reach a peace deal in 15 seconds or wherever it is. And Donald Trump, he's not given to hyperbole. I'm being sarcastic. Tell me if you spotted that in the chat.
ABC's chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz leading us off tonight.
The U.S. Reaper surveillance drone was flying in international airspace. The U.S. Reaper drone is just trying its best, man.
Why is everyone talking like this? What do you think's happening now? Do you think that there is no intention behind this? Is this just the rendering of information?
Come on, man. I want to see the fucking footage.
Intention to escalate fear, escalate tension, present a solution that amounts to expenditure on military equipment.
When the Russian fighter jets rapidly approached.
Rapidly? It's a fighter jet. Would you mind flying that fighter jet a bit more slowly? I feel the need for modest flying of a fighter jet.
We're going to see this footage, right? All this fucking banter. I want to see the footage. I saw the footage this morning.
Oh my God, look at that.
It was fucking awesome.
Just broke the sound barrier. Who's going to put that sound barrier together again? Putin? I don't think so. And began what would be more than 30 minutes of reckless aerial harassment.
I'm being recklessly aerially harassed.
Much like this encounter with the U.S. B-52 bomber in 2020.
That's nothing to do with it. That's further narrativization. I've just plucked that out from the past.
See, they're always recklessly harassing our sky drones.
They're drones. This is a military conflict. Billions and billions are being spent on this. A peace deal's been knocked back. Let's have some honest reporting.
Interceptions are common, but never before like this.
There's an asshole.
Not only did the Russians shadow the drone, they made 19 close passes.
Where is it?
Fuel on the unmanned aircraft multiple times.
Shadowed means nearly touched it. Near passes means nearly touched it. Sprayed some fuel on it. So that's nothing, sprayed some fuel on it. That's it. That's the news. Something sprayed some fuel on something. But if that happened to me in my actual life driving my car, what's that? Bloody hell. It's not the news, is it?
One of our most nicest drones has been covered in something what stank. And if you think about it, jet fuel is the airplane version of piss and shit. This is unforgivable. Pooey. Well, one of the jets pulling up vertically as it approached the drone, then colliding with the drone's rear propeller.
They collided with the aircraft, damaging the propeller.
Damaging the propeller. They've got
You know what? I got it on my history,
don't I?
that
board.
I know
it's a
I
news
do.
conference for a minor skirmish.
Colliding with the drone's rear propeller.
They collided with the aircraft, damaging the propeller.
So the military perspective is collided with the propeller. The mainstream media perspective collided with the propeller. That means the media, which is supposed to give you an objective perspective on events, simply parrots what the military want them to say. Now, you know that the military and the military-industrial complex operate in close conjunction. Hello there, you awakening wonders. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, who are the best in men's below the waist and below the snout and within the ear grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools like our analysis for your family jewels. Manscaped's performance package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. You get the lawnmower. This trimmer is the future of grooming, and some say the greatest ball trimmer ever. You get the Weed Whacker crop preserver ball deodorant, although if there is an odor, I mean, there just shouldn't be an odor on your balls. But if there is, this will rid you of it. The Crop Reviver toner, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold your goodies. In this case, the goodies are the products, not your reproductive organs. Join over 7 million men worldwide, not literally, that would be unhygienic, you'd be ankle deep in pubic hair, who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BRAND at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use the code BRAND. Oh, it's really actually quite satisfying because you can hear
Here we go. Here we go.
You can hear
That's
the sound of youth returning.
This is a
Sooner or
talented
later, you're gonna
fucking
hear
pirate,
stuff
man.
like, oh no, we need more money to fight this war. The Pentagon aren't getting enough money. Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, BAE Systems, Northrop
Here we
Grumman.
go.
They need
Portable
more
digital,
of your
mini
taxpayer
VCR.
dollars to continue this war. It's an escalating war. They in general want you to be fearful, anxious
Is
the
this
whole
gonna be
time.
it? Here
There
it
is an
comes, here it
agenda
comes.
at play
Here it
here.
comes.
You can see it in
He
the
gonna
choice
fucking
of words.
tag it.
You can see it in the consistency of
He gonna
language.
fucking
You can
tag it.
see
Look,
in
he's
the tone. Let
dumping.
me know if you agree.
He's
in the
done.
chat
He's gonna
comments.
tag
The
it.
big question was
Boom, and you
simply
see
a
it shake,
reckless
and all of a sudden
interception
the
that got out of
prop starts
control,
fucking
or
going down.
was the collision
I don't know
done
what
on
he hit,
purpose?
but it
Was
doesn't
that
look like he
done
did
on
damage
purpose?
to the prop.
You said that was an accident when you stood on my foot.
But that was tight as fuck.
reckon
Look, here he
it
comes
was
again.
done on
Gonna
purpose.
dump.
Make up.
I think he was trying to set it on fire.
If you do ignore the treaty between Reagan and Gorbachev and escalate tension, infringement on our territory from 2014 coup,
Let's see it
selling
again.
weapons
Here,
over
let's see it
to
again.
you. If you do, you'll get
Oh,
the
wait a minute.
flu
What
and
was that?
F-5
Wait.
too, and that's World War
Look,
II.
look. It did. It
Clearly,
did.
it was
It tagged
unsafe,
us.
unprofessional.
Look, right there.
This war is unprofessional. Please, gentlemen, we can't have fighting in the war room. It's literally beyond parody.
And I think the actions speak for themselves.
No, they don't.
Tagged it
The
right
actions
there.
don't speak for themselves.
Right there.
And here his actions sort of
He got
speak
that
for
one-
themselves, although
one-
it is actually me doing it. A
That's
drone
where it-
went a bit too near Russia.
Good
A
shit.
fighter
Look at
jet
that. It's
went near
totally
that drone,
misshapen.
the drone came down. That's about it. Everything else is
Here he comes
conjecture.
again.
The
He gonna
Pentagon
tag that shit.
announcing just hours ago that a Russian jet harassed
I
New
shit
news
on
outlet,
you.
Same language.
and collided with a U.S. Reaper drone. Now, several times before the collision happens, the Russian
Hey,
jet
John, how you
dumped fuel
doing, man?
on,
Dumped fuel. Again, consistency of language.
flew in front
Good
of
to
the
see
drone
you.
in a
No,
reckless
no
Reckless.
typing and
Again,
driving,
new
my
channel,
friend.
same story.
and environmentally unsound.
This is great propaganda.
Environmentally
But could we
unsound.
say somehow
Envi-
that it's
What?
also environmentally unsound? God,
What?
Is that really
Wait.
the priority on the
Wait,
brink of World War?
what? We have.
Harassed.
Wait a minute. What?
News outlet, same language.
And then collided with a U.S. Reaper drone. Now, several times before the collision happens, the Russian jets dumped fuel on,
Dumped fuel. Again, consistency of language.
flew in front of the drone in a reckless
Reckless. Again, new channel, same story.
and environmentally unsound.
This is great propaganda. Great.
It's fucking environmentally unsound too. That's good shit. I love it. Oh my god, that was a good shot though, man. That guy's traveling probably about 700-800 mile an hour. Fucking tagged that fucking thing. Pop! Knocked it right out the fucking air. I gotta hand it to us. That's good piloting. And it would have been a different thing if they'd have done it in the Gulf of Mexico, but we're not talking about the fucking Gulf of Mexico. We're talking about the border of Russia, the fucking Black Sea. Yeah, I'm like, Jesus Christ, people. Yeah, just after we blew up their fucking pipeline. Don't talk about that, Charmaine. That's environmentally friendly. Fuck me.
It's propaganda. But could we say somehow that it's also environmentally unsound?
You ain't supposed to say
Is
shit like
really
that.
The priority on the
Charmaine.
brink of World War III? No, but it makes it sound worse and it's on message. Okay, I'll just say it then. Environmentally unsound?
An environmentally unsound and unprofessional manner.
Unprofessional.
Now, General McCaffrey, it's a little bit.
Yeah,
You might take one
yeah.
glance at General McCaffrey and immediately.
No, I agree. He knew he was fixing to tag it and didn't want to explode. That's exactly what we just watched. He's coming in for a landing. He doesn't need fuel. You know why? Because he's right there at motherland, Russia. It isn't. It's like these people are acting like, we're just fine over here. This is our airspace. It's like, Jesus, dude. You fucking chill yourself out. Fucking they're trying to tell you something. Well, it is what it is. I told you back in 2014, China, Russia, and North Korea. Exactly what we're looking at today. So if you can't laugh, then whew. Yeah, you know what? I would have thought it would have been great if it had lit up. It would have been even better. But I'll take what we get. It was some good piloting.
Has known true evil.
I gotta
You'd
hand
be
it
free
to him. It
think
was
that in
really
your
good
own mind,
piloting.
but it would be helpful, wouldn't it, if there was some evidence? Why is General McCaffrey on the news? What are his connections? What's he done in the past? None of this is being asked.
Yeah, if that whole cloud of fucking fuel had ignited as he hit it, that would have been the best. That'd have been like some fucking movie shit right there.
Learn a little bit more about him.
Like the opening scenes.
Not like this isn't some movie. Dude, that is some of the fucking best fucking footage I've seen of a real fucking fighter plane. Fucking dude, he tagged that shit. That shit was cruising. It's not the easiest thing in the world to fucking hit a moving object with a moving object, let alone shoot the damn thing with a gun. He tagged that shit with his plane. I was like, damn, that's ballsy. That's fucking ballsy. Of course he dumped first. He didn't want to blow up.
And the first one.
How dare you suggest that the mainstream media presents information to us like we're children? This is a bit like Top Gun, Goose, Maverick, the guys, poor Val Kilmer in that scarf in the second one, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, he could have killed himself.
With the
damn
roles
straight.
reversed here.
Damn straight. He could have killed himself real easy. Or she.
I
agree.
They were obviously brazen. If you're to believe U.S. defense and intelligence officials, which we do.
Oh, we do we? Well, we don't.
Well, there's no question.
We don't.
Was a deliberate provocation. I find it highly unlikely it was just a lack of discipline on the part of selected Russian fighter aircraft.
That was good.
Okay,
that was
reverse
good shit.
Top Gun.
Was a deliberate.
Which we do.
Oh.
If you're to believe U.S. defense and intelligence officials, which we do.
Oh, we do we? Well, we don't.
Well, there's no question that this
we don't.
Was a deliberate provocation. I find it highly unlikely it was just a lack of discipline on the part of selected Russian fighter aircraft.
Okay, General McCaffrey, you might have noticed there he is hanging out with Bill Clinton in the background. Let's see what he's been up to in his career. Probably a thoroughly decent sort of chap. An investigative report for the New Yorker by veteran Seymour Hirsch.
Hey, y'all are fucked.
Alleges that Barry McCaffrey.
Amy's back. Playtime's over. God damn it. Meeting time and everything. I'll see you in a little bit.
At the end of the Gulf War.
Much love.
Supposed to cease firing. There's some doubt about the
Boss lady's back.
of those
She
words.
caught me playing.
Them ceasefire troops was harassing the air nearby.
All right, we'll be back a little bit.
Yeah, about war, do you know what I mean?
Go look at your footage.
War,
it's fucking awesome.
War. There's losses on both sides.